Alright YouTube, we're back here on the channel, and today we're going to be going over the characters information and stuff. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys already seen it, but I'm gonna explain how they work and all that stuff, if they're like good or bad, all that stuff. And it does turn out I was wrong. It turns out in the Hog Pass, I'm not buying Hog Pass anymore. It's only for Eren Yeager's cosmetic, right? I thought it would be for Eren Yeager's I thought it would be Eren Yeager, right? Like the actual one if you bought it, but no, it's only the cosmetic, which does suck. So I am going to make an alt account and try my hardest to 6 either Levi or Eren Yeager, because they're very, very good. Way better than I thought, actually. I mean, Sora translated it in the Discord, but we're on Grand Cross database because for Eren Yeager's part, it's actually super small since he does transform. So, they're going to start off with the SR one. He's blue. Obviously, he's blue. He cancels stances on one enemy. These are level 3s. You guys should be able to see this. Right? Cancel stances on one enemy and inflicts damage equal to 500% of an attack. Pretty basic. His second skill increases basic stats by 50% for 3 turns, and he fades when attacked for 1 turn. So what Derriere does. This is probably going to be useful, but at the same time, Derriere's benefits her, right? Because it's still a skill and she gets the buff. He doesn't get a buff, right? Or he does, I guess. And then his ultimate is inflict shatter equal to 360% of an attack on one enemy. So it's basically what King does, but I'm pretty sure this is what Blue King does, but for 1 unit. I'm not sure. Shatter is ignore resistance, right? Then his ult increases damage dealt to unknown races for 30%. Or by 30%. So Gother, Merlin, because if you guys don't know, Merlin is not classified as a demon in the game. So those people will have right? Then we have Green Yeager. This is like the only character. Him and Levi are the only characters I want. Mikasa, pretty good. Or I should say decent, but it's not somebody I'm like gonna force myself for, right? Inflicts damage to 500% of an attack, and fills his ultimate gauge by 2 orbs. So this is what Green Esquire does. If you guys don't know, a lot of these characters, every single one of these characters have an ability another character has, right? So that's what this is. It inflicts damage equal to 180% of an attack on all enemies, and disables ultimate moves for 2 turns. So this is basically what Draw does, his passive, but this is a card. Right, transforms in 5 turns. I thought it was forever, but it's only for 5 turns, and then increases his attack, defense, HP related stats. Oh my gosh. Bro, I just realized it's related stats. I thought it was only attack, defense, and HP. That means he buffs up all his stats. That's insane, bro. That's sick, right? And then decreases enemies attack by 35% or by 30% for 1 turn. This is why I want to get him like 4-6 or 6-6 if possible, because him transforming will be very, very good. I did not know it was related stats until now, so that's pretty good. And then it's Titan form immune to like things. So it's like Esquinor's passive. Right, when you use this ultimate, it's basically for 5 turns he has Esquinor's passive, where he's not allowed to be debuffed or anything like that. And I don't think you're even allowed to remove his ult or use the ultimate move on him. One of these characters does that, so I'm gonna find out. And then his passive is increases damage by 10% for each ultimate gauge orbs the hero has. So 550 max, right? If you use the ult, it's gonna do what Green King does, his passive basically. But Green King's is for crit. This is just damage, right? Then his Titan form is it's the exact same thing Red Escanor does. This is Red Escanor. So with this, you're allowed to have 2 Red Escanors on the field. Inflicts amplified damage equal to 450%. This is good because he does get his own buff from his transformation. And then his second skill removes all gauges for all enemies. Again, very, very good. I'm just waiting for the stats. Very good. I don't know how it's gonna work. Then his ultimate is like Escanor's again. Getting this guy his dupes is pretty good, right? And then this is the passive. Immune to ultimate remove or ultimate move disabling skills. So if you don't know what that means, I think that means like Merlin. See how Merlin's able to remove ultimate gauge? Doesn't work like that, right? No, my bad. No, I read it wrong. This is like you can't seal him basically. So Draw's passive does not work against this guy, right? You can't stop him from using an ult unless you remove his ult gauge. That's my fault. Mikasa Mikasa inflicts damage equal to 320% or 25% of an attack enemy, or of an attack on one enemy, makes target bleed for 2 turns. Like 80% of damage, right? It's not 80% of max HP, just 80% of damage. Inflicts secret technique. If you don't know, this second skill is Lost Flame Meliodas' ultimate, but it's lowered because it's a skill. So it inflicts damage equal to 200% of all enemies secret. I think this is probably going to be very, very good. I mean, this is rank 3 and it's 200, so it's not really going to be that good, since it's going to be like, what, 100%? 125% when it's rank 1. And then her ultimate actually works with her passive very well. It increases the hero's basic stats by 50% for 3 turns, and inflicts 140 or 420% of an attack on one enemy. And then her passive works with her ultimate, because like I said, for each ally that receives damage, one attack increases this hero's stats by 30%. Now that goes up by 30% if you're hit 10 times, or if your entire team is hit 10 times. So if you're fighting, let's say, Pen Team, and they do 3 AoEs, that's 27% right away. Right, that's 27% to her basic stats, which includes, if not her basics, just to her stats, which means recovery rate, lifesteal. If that's the case, she is busted. Because mind you, 30% on top of that, she's getting an extra 50 from her ult. That's 80%. Listen, that's 80% for 3 turns of HP, defense, and attack. That's too much. That's too much. That's way too much. That's too broken. That's busted. You're not going to kill her for a while, right? I'm actually happy because the Slime collab, all those units were garbage. I could see you using these characters, especially Eren Yeager and Levi, for a long time, right? Mikasa, I mean, if her passive works like how I think it does, where her entire stats gets buffed, I guess you can see her like using her for a long time, right? And then we have Levi, inflicts spike damage equal to 400% on one enemy. He has the same exact kit as Zeldris, except the ultimate's different, right? And then his second skill inflicts despair. What is despair again? Give me a second. I want to see what despair is. Let's see. What is despair? Despair. What is despair? Yeah, Zeldris is the only person who has this, so this is definitely something different, new. So yeah, it's like it recovers 50% of the damage that was done to them, right? So, and then his ultimate cancels buffs and stans from one enemy, inflicts damage equal to 360%. This is pretty good because this will stop Esterosa when he's doing his taunt. Derriere when she wants to do her stun. I mean, like, Derriere, it will stop her because when she wants to do her evade, right? And she has all those buffs, so you can use this and get rid of her buffs, right? So it's pretty decent, if you're able to, obviously. Then his passive is what goes insane. This is why Levi is one of the most broken characters in the game. This hero will always crit against the enemy that has the lowest HP. It doesn't need to say ratio. It doesn't need to say that. Basically, what this passive is, whoever has the lowest HP on the enemy's team will always get crit on. And that's perfect because look at his first skill. Actually, let me pull up Zeldris, because if you guys don't know, I'm going to show you guys the percentage for Zeldris. They're not going to have the same stats. I don't know what his crit damage is going to be. If his crit... Here's the thing. People don't understand. If Levi's crit damage is low, he's not going to be that hard hitting. Right? Even if he crits, he's not going to be that... Like, look at this guy. His crit damage is 140%. If Levi's is not around here or even higher, then he's not going to do much. But it's at 160 at rank 1. That's pretty nasty. That's nasty. Right? It guarantees crit. So if you go first, whoever has... Look at the team, and whoever has the lowest HP will get crit on. He basically one-shots green units if you make him overpowered and busted. Right? Applies when there's only one... Right, so it works when there's one enemy or when there's all enemies, right? Though it just works like that. It's just nasty. And then and then let me talk about this real quick. I already talked about this in the last video, but basically how Eren Yeager's thing works is that you could put him on human or giant's team, because when he transforms, he's a giant. But it depends on how you want to play. Do you want to keep him in a human form the entire game? Then put him on a human team. If you plan on transforming for 5 turns, then put him on giant's team, right? That's all. Is there anything else here? Alright, so you could actually buy them if you like. Yeah, I do want to release 6-6, so I'm Aaron Yeager and Levi, mainly Aaron Yeager, because his passive is, his ultimate is pretty nice. It's transforming one. We don't have a, I don't know what this looks like, this ult, because they never used it. I mean, they used it in the live stream a bit, but it was like, it was cut, like it skipped, right? It only did a little show. It only showed it for a little and then skipped. So that's pretty. I want to see what it looks like though. Regardless, they're all very good. None of them are like bad, but they're all pretty decent. Especially, if her passive, I'm telling you, if Mikasa's passive works like how I think it is, 3% to all stats, that means she would get 80% to attack, HP, and defense, which would make her busted. That would make her so broken because she will be doing a lot of damage. So that's pretty insane. Alright, lifesteal 30. Imagine having 30% lifesteal. 20% lifesteal is basically half of what you do to them. Like, it's insane. It's really insane. So yeah, that's these new characters, right? I do think they're all pretty good. Ackerman and Sora already say they have their own teams for this, for these characters. Like, come on, they already have their own team, or they have teams made for these characters, assuming they do get it. Ackerman, I know he's gonna get it. He's a light spender, right? He's a light spender until he gets the unit, so he's basically a spender, right? And Sora just has luck. Sora gets every new unit, first multi, no questions. So all these characters are pretty decent. They're not even all bad. Like, even the SR one is pretty good, pretty bad, or not pretty bad. Not pretty bad, pretty good, or pretty decent, I should say, right? Increases damage dealt to unknown races, Gother, Merlin, all those people, and goodbye, right? Same as his one skill, being able to dodge, right? I mean, it's not really too big with his kit, but I mean, it's pretty decent, right? But if this was helpful, let me know in the comments. I'm Zeuxis. If you want to join the giveaway or the Discord, we are having another giveaway in the Discord for Anto. I should have probably mentioned it in the beginning. I'll mention in the video, in the beginning of the video tomorrow, right? But then there will only be one day left. So if you're still watching here, there's a giveaway in the Discord. So if you want to enter, just join the Discord, links in the description. I am Zeuxis, and I'm out of here. I hope I am that if I don't pull these guys on my main, trust me, I'm making an alt and I'm gonna 6-6 them. Trust me. If you, or I shouldn't say I'm gonna 6-6 them, right? But I'm definitely gonna get dupes of them. There's no way I'm getting these guys. I don't want them 1-6. They're too good to have be 1-6, right? Way too good to be 1-6. Anyways, I'm Zeuxis, and I'm out of here. Later.